Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
Happy Sunday! Whew, it is warm today and I am excited. It's Sunday, which means tonight is Write With Me live stream on YouTube, which is exciting. Alex just left for his, it's not a conference, it's a training. That's what it is, a training. Whew, pause for airplanes. It's the time of the year where they do a lot of training flights, so it is what it is. But Alex left for his training. He's gone for the next couple of days for that, and it's just Finn and I. So I am hoping to maybe get Finn out after school tomorrow to do something. I don't fully know what. There's a lot of my plans for this week that are still somewhat in limbo. It's like I have a plan A and plan B for everything. That just kind of depends on a variety of factors. Tuesday is my second certification test. It's the NCE, the National Counselor's Exam. It's the last one I need to pass to get started as a therapist, or as an LPC. So I'm really excited because once I pass it, and then once the board gets all of my test scores, they get test scores at the very end of every month. So once they get those at the end of the month in May, as long as I've passed everything, I can start working, which is really, really exciting. So there's that. Finn, I have to leave early enough because I have to drive 45 minutes to take this test. So I leave early enough that depending on factors, either I will be dropping Finn off with my mom early in the morning on Tuesday morning so she can take him to school, or I may be dropping him off with my parents Monday night so that they can take him in the morning to school. So it kind of depends. My mom has stuff going on she's taking care of, so it really just depends on time in that, what I end up doing. But yeah, since Alex is gone, I kind of want to fill my time because honestly, the evenings are really rough when it's just me. And so I would like to kind of maybe take Finn out after school and do something, even if it's just like going to the park, because man, it is gorgeous. And I think it's going to continue being gorgeous like this week. So maybe that's what we do. We just drive on down to the park and play at the park after school. So I don't know. I just want to enjoy our quality time and also get a lot of writing done, because I typically stay up a little bit later and do a lot of writing when Alex is gone. So maybe do some pop-ups and stuff too. Also, I am breaking out, so my skin looks gross. So we may do a little bit of like self-care this week too. Maybe do a face mask one night, and hopefully my skin will look better. So we will see, but it's going to be a great week. We are going to get a lot done, and it's going to be a good time. Woo! Happy Monday to you guys, because it's been a weird one for me. Tell me why I have one of the better insurances, I think, in my state anyway, and I got a giant bill in the mail yesterday, and I have spent the whole day calling back and forth various organizations between like hospital where my doctors are located, back to insurance, back and forth all day. And then when I finally get to somebody, and funnily enough, a document came in the mail today that answered my question. So I was able to say, it's from this. They were able to say, oh no, all we needed was information you told us the first time and we updated it so you don't owe anything. When I called the first time, they only asked the doctory questions, like, where do you live? Give me your address. What's your date of birth? And what is your name? So what question was so important that they needed to then reset the system so it wouldn't charge me a gigantic amount of money for a service that is covered through my insurance? I don't know. Honestly, I'm laughing because it seems ridiculous to me. Also, this system should not be nearly as convoluted as it is. It's not a bit ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. There's a reason why, oh my gosh, you need like a whole English translator even to deal with it because of the words they use and list on these documents. Holy moly. I totally understand why people have no idea what insurance covers and doesn't and get into medical debt, because holy crap. Not even to mention that there's a lot of things just not even covered. So rant over. I just thought it was funny. But that was my entire Monday today. I did get a run in. That was nice because it's beautiful today. So I got to run outside. I did some weights here at home. I've been trying to add a lot more lifting into my running schedule to just try and tone and strengthen my muscles better and be a better runner. And that is working. I'm also growing stronger. Alex has noticed. So that's also kind of exciting. So it's been a good day. It was just a little bit of a run around there. And I wasn't like too angry or frustrated about it. I was keeping my cool because honestly, I just wanted answers. So I was just calling around to find out what I could find out. And yep, that was that. So I'm going to make some rice. Hope you guys enjoyed my rant. Got the ground turkey out. We're going to do some veggies and rice. That is one of my favorite meals. So that is what we will be doing. Whew, we're here. I had to drive 45 minutes today because my test, the National Counselor's Exam, the NCE, I could only schedule in a different town. So I drove 45 minutes. I've already done this test once. So this is National Counselor's Exam, NCE round 2. The first time I missed it by 1 point. I was so frustrated. I was a little crushed. So fingers crossed I do better today. I will say that when I took it the first time, I had not finished my study material. I don't even know how far into it I was, but I know that there was still a lot I hadn't completed. And so considering I was 1 point away from passing and I honestly had not studied like to my full ability, makes me feel really good about today because I have finished the study material that is available to me. I've been using an app. I've been using Pocket Prep. So if any of you are like me, planning on becoming an LPC and you have to take the license, the NCE, I used Pocket Prep for the NCE. It is fantastic. All of the questions are pulled from other counseling material, mostly the Purple Book, which is like the study material they recommend to you. And so this app is basically the Purple Book, and you just take a bunch of questions and quizzes, and I love the way it's formatted. It's digital, so that makes it a lot easier to study. And you also get like, it's easier to see markers than just getting this really thick book. So that is what I did to study. And like I said, the first time around, I hadn't completed the app, but this time around, I completed it. There are only 5 questions I have not answered. I have no idea where those 5 questions lie because in the app, it looks like I've completed everything. So it must be like a randomized assortment, and there are 5 still out there in the ether that I have not encountered. But that means that I have studied in a variety of difficulty, at least almost like 900 questions, because this app has so much material. So there's that. My overall statistics, maybe I'll toss that up on the screen actually. So here's my overall statistics just for funsies. My overall percentage of like completed material, my rating is 91%. That is, if I were to be scored on all of the material in this app, I would get a 91%, which is amazing. My lowest scored area, I have like a 91 in, which is amazing. And I'm feeling really good about this test. So fingers crossed that I nail it this time, because last week I took the state test and I passed that one. So what I did to prepare for today is I used the exact same method I did last week. So if you didn't watch last week's vlog, I went in a lot of detail into like my method and what I did. Basically, long story short is I took my anti-anxiety medication. In the past, I've been worried to take it because it zombifies me a little bit. I was basically prescribed it mostly to help me sleep, to help with insomnia. And it really does help me sleep. And so I've been afraid to take it during the daytime because I've just kind of assumed that it would put me to sleep, that it would work so intensely. And that actually is not the case. It does zombify me a little bit, but I took it last week to take the other test. And I realized in hindsight that part of my issue, I think, is just that I'm getting anxious during the test. I know the material, I'm just getting nervous and second guessing myself and making stupid decisions. And so I am taking care of that issue once again today by using that same method. So I am feeling really good. It is 8:27. I'm here a bit early, but I'm going to go in, get settled in, get comfortable, sign in, and then maybe we can get ready and crack in and knock this thing out. Update, Pearson VUE, the company the test is through, updated their software yesterday, and it will now not reboot. So I have to reschedule my test, which is really frustrating. Give me a minute. It is what it is. So I have to reschedule. So they said to call them either late this afternoon or tomorrow morning so that they can get me rescheduled. So it's not ideal. It is what it is. It's just it feels like a big deal to me because just driving out here was sort of a feat given how anxious it tends to make me. So I was feeling really, really good because I didn't feel, it's the first time I've driven without feeling that anxious. And so getting here and then it kind of being for no reason that I took the drive was frustrating. So the plan, I am going to call eventually, reschedule. I need to take the test before the 30th because that is when the state board pulls testing results. And so if I can take it before the 30th, they can pull my test result. And as long as I've passed it, I can start working in May. If I can't test this until next month, I have a whole month before I can be approved by the state board to start working again. So that means if I can't get this done by the 30th, if I can't get this rescheduled and passed, then I won't, now I have to wait until June to start working. So that's not great. And it's really frustrating, but it is what it is. So I'm going to reschedule. My plan is to schedule this test somewhere where I don't have to drive out here to it. So the testing site that I took the state test at is in my city. And supposedly they give Pearson tests. However, they did not come out as a location for this particular test. So I've emailed them just to clarify to see if they can give that test. When I call, I'm also going to try to schedule it at that test site. And if I can't, I'm going to try taking it on their online proctoring platform. So I don't have to go anywhere. I can just take it at my house. I'll just take June somewhere else for the day while I take it and just take it at home because I don't want to drive out here again for something that's high stakes like this. So that's my plan. I think now I might find some food. I might go to a local bookstore. So we'll see. And then drive back home. right, so let's not beat around the bush. I'm all about authenticity. And to be entirely honest, I've kind of held off a little bit because there's been a little bit of discourse online, mostly on like threads about pity marketing. And I don't ever want to fall into that category. And so it's been a little hard this week towing the line. So know that what I'm saying now is not to like garner sales or make anyone feel bad for me. It's strictly just to like, I don't know, show my process and my daily life as an indie author and some of the things that go into that for me. So let's just start there. So there is no secret that things have been really hard for me. Like yesterday, the test being canceled, they told me in the office that I could call at the end of the day, maybe even the next day, which was this morning, to reschedule. They acted like it should be a quick turnaround. I have done that, and now I am being told it will be 3 to 5 days to have that processed. So there's that. That sucks because the state board for LPCs pulls tests the 30th of every month. So if I don't take this test and pass it before the 30th, that means I have to wait again until the end of next month, and then I can't start working until June at the earliest. So that is frustrating. Sales are also down. I think that's just in like authors in general. So I'm finding out more and more that a lot of us have been kind of holding back expressing our frustrations, and now everything's sort of boiling over online, which has been good because it means that I'm not alone. We're all feeling this way, not even just authors. I'm hearing that from a lot of people just in general. Just things just really suck right now, and they really suck in the US. So it's just been really difficult. So I've been struggling all this time to get through, jumping through all the hoops for the LPC stuff. That sucks. My sales are down. So I've definitely had a really, really rough time managing my emotions. At this point, I'm past like feeling anxious about it. I'm past being like sad and weepy about it. I'm just really angry. I'm just really angry with my circumstances and that I put so much work into things that are just not working out and not like returning my investment for me. And it's been frustrating. So I'm not the kind of person to sit around and not act. And so that's what bugs me the most is a lot of these things are just out of my control. Like I'm waiting on a shipment of books. The first round was damaged, not my fault. It was all Amazon, had to reorder them. And now they may or may not be here for my author event. I can't control that. I have reached out to Amazon. I have done all the things I can do for Amazon. I've done all the same things I can do for the LPC stuff. And I am just up against other people needing to do their part. So there's nothing I can do. And that irks me to no end because I'm not that kind of a person to just sit back and let things be. I like to take action. I'm the kind of person that calls my representatives and my senators when I have concerns and I don't like something. I tell people calmly and collected, like keep myself calm and everything. But when things are not going the way that I know that they should or they could be better, I'm the kind of person to try to help make things better. So it bothers me that I can't do anything. And so instead I am thinking about what things I can do and are in my control. And for a long time this week, I didn't feel like anything was, but actually there are things I can do to make myself feel better that are in my control and still contribute to success. Things like writing my next book. So that is what I am focusing on. I'm using the tools available to me. All of my anti-anxiety tools. I've been taking the extra anti-anxiety medication I have just to like take a little bit of the edge off during the day. That has helped a huge amount. And I've just been telling myself, I've just been looking on the brighter side of things. Like I can write my next book. I can do that. That is something that I can do. So I'm going to focus on that. I have a lot of extra downtime right now to write said book. And while I wait on all this LPC stuff, I have the downtime to really focus on fitness and the gym. And so that is what I'm going to do. So I got dressed. I ran yesterday outside. I've been actually in a really good routine, but it's just windy enough. and I want to do some like weightlifting, that I am going to go into the gym today. So that's where we are, run on the treadmill and lift weights. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to read a new book I've got in the car while I wait for Finn. Maybe I'll tell you guys about that after, because I am loving it so far. But that's where we are, and that is what I'm going to do. Those are things within my control, and they do contribute to future success. So we're going to do that. Happy Thursday! Schools are out tomorrow, so Finn and Alex are both home, so we have another long weekend all together. We are taking a day trip, Alex and I, to the big city. We are getting massages, going to just enjoy ourselves for the day, and Finn is going to hang out with my parents tomorrow, which will be fun. I think my parents all had like plans already in place to do some fun things with him. They're gonna have a good day today, because it was kind of like the Friday for them. Today was the Easter egg hunt at Finn's school for his pre-K class. So I and a couple other parents, we were invited to come early to help hide the eggs while the class did their own things for the morning. And so me and a couple other parents that I've met them and we've chatted before, we all hung out on the playground hiding Easter eggs. Each kid got 20 Easter eggs. That was the way it all broke apart. And so there are 22 kids in his class, so you can imagine how many Easter eggs we all hid. It was a lot of fun though, and oh my goodness, they were all so dang cute. My little Finn, my little boy, is such a rule follower. He's enough of a people pleaser like I am that he was very, very concerned with only getting the number of eggs he was allowed. They were told everybody gets 20 eggs. And so the poor little guy was collecting eggs, counting them as he went, trying to keep track of his counts so that he didn't get too many, so everyone could have eggs, which is precious. And so some of the other kids, everyone got kind of just excited. And so while Finn is being very careful not to like take eggs from anybody, a lot of the other kids just started grabbing eggs. And so all said and done, when it was all over, Finn realized he only had maybe like 10 eggs. And so he was a little sad, but his pre-K class, all of the kids and all the parents too, but all of those kids are so dang sweet that everybody just started like happily exchanging eggs if somebody mentioned that they liked one they had in their basket. So they were adorable. They went back to their class, and the plan was to divvy out eggs so that everyone was going to go home with 20. And so Finn was perfectly happy, like when all said and done. Everyone was having a good time. There was an Easter bunny there. His teacher has a high school daughter who volunteers in the mornings at the class, and so they had her dress up as the Easter bunny, which was so fun. So it was a good time. Needless to say, it's really hard not to have a really great morning when you spent the whole morning around really excited pre-K kids. Oh my goodness, they are adorable. So it has been a really good day. And on top of that, I went to the coffee shop and I also got a lot of writing done. And that is my plan for today. I'm going to do my question of the day to keep up with my NCE prep. The update on that is that apparently it'll be 3 to 5 days before they can get back to me in order to reschedule. So honestly, it's been a really rough time for me. I've already talked a lot about it, and I have just decided to take on what I would tell a client as a therapist, which is, what are things that you can control right now that are positive and forward moving endeavors. And so for me, I can control the fact that I can keep up with my fitness, use this extra time to get to the gym, which is great. And I can use this extra time for my author platform and really, really pour myself into furthering that, getting to be a better author, a better writer, and finishing Curse of Blood and Sight. And so that is the big priority now, and where I'm putting all of my focus is just enjoying writing this book, and doing the brainstorming for Snow at Sunset, which is the next book I'll write. But just really, really filling my time with writing on Curse of Blood and Sight, which is something I absolutely adore, really fills my cup. And I feel a lot better already shifting my brain in that way. I'm also having a really good time reading Mind Magic by James Doty. He's a neuroscientist, a neurosurgeon, and I'm having a really good time reading through that book. So that is also helping me with like my manifestation journey and stuff, all of that things. So it's been better. So the plan, I'm back home. The plan is to eat lunch. It's about noon. And then I'm just gonna keep writing. So I will update you guys on my progress later.
A do ba do ba do 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 ba do, yeah.
Ooh, oh my gosh, guys, it has been a morning. Firstly, we woke up earlier than we planned because our Ring doorbell camera at the back of the house went off several times, and there was the cutest little dog trying to get into our house. So we invited him in. This dog is old, like missing teeth, could barely walk, had a limp that we figured out was just because he's old. And so we invited him in, and he spent the morning with us as we tried figuring out where he belonged. He had a tag on, but it was just the rabies tag. And so we called around a bunch of times, places, couldn't get a name. I have a friend I work with who also works part-time at the animal hospital, and she had 5 different veterinarians on it at one point. And we were able to get online and figure out where like this dog may go based on what we ended up getting. So long story short, the old man got home, Alex took him home, and then when Alex was on his way to take this dog to his house, Amazon showed up at our door. So my books for this book event today, which is only like a few hours away, they weren't supposed to show up until tomorrow, and they got to my door this morning. So I have everything I need for this author event. I am stoked because I'm doing a couple different things this year. I am selling bookmarks. I'm really hoping, because every year, there's always people that are really interested. Like you can tell on their face when they get to my booth, they really want to support, but they don't like fantasy, or the book seems a little too steamy for them, or whatever, but they want to support. And so I have my Read Books, Be Kind bookmarks with me that are adorable. And so I'm really, really hoping that people would be willing to buy the bookmarks if they don't want to buy a book. So it'd be another way to support me, and they're also not very expensive. So I'm hoping that'll kind of be an in. So I'm all packed, got everything in my box here. I'm taking a couple new items for my table. I take a lot of the same stuff every year, but I snagged my little neon heart light because I thought it would look really cute if I push it inside of my box when I set it up on my table. I'll show you guys when I get there for sure, but I thought it would be cute there. So we are gonna do that. So that has been the update. I am so excited that all of my stock arrived. So if you are not local to me and so you can't come in person, whatever stock I have left over, I'm going to just put all of it on my website so you can shop it on my website and I can ship it to you all signed and nice and pretty. So I'm excited. It'll be a really good day. All right, I'm in my car. The Author Fest is over. It was a really good year. I mean, I think it was less foot traffic this year than last year. So there are less people, but just about everyone who came in bought something. So I think everybody did better financially. So that was nice. I know this is the best I think I've ever done at this event as far as like selling books. So that was awesome. The bookmarks were not as big of a hit as I thought they would be, but there were less people and everyone who approached my table bought something. So, including bookmarks. So that did help increase what I earned out. I also raised my event prices. So I am now charging, when I go to in-person events, I am charging more than what my books are listed online. A lot of people do this and I don't know, I'd never thought to, but if you have to travel somewhere, you know, or you're taking your time away from something else, like a whole day is dedicated to a signing and stuff, a lot of businesses will do that, you know, to like make it worth your money rather than just charging list price. And so that is what I did. I also include in any of my like signed books. So if you order a signed book online from me, from my website or at an event, there's always a bonus that you don't get when you order it from like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, other platforms. It's usually a little bookmark with a tassel, like a miniature bookmark. And so there's also that to consider in the price, and then like signing and just being more personal and stuff. So it made sense to me. So that is what I did this year. So that also just naturally means that I did a little bit better in that front, just because my books were just a tad more expensive than what they are online. So yeah, it's been good. This next week, I haven't actually said it anywhere, but I'm going to start promoting it. This next week on Tuesday, there is a Stuff Your Kindle Day, and I have 2 books included. The second book in my trilogy, Shade of the Shadowlands, that book will be free in the Kindle store. And so will my very first book I wrote, which is a standalone, The Arena. It will also be free in the Kindle store next Tuesday. So I'm excited for that. That is the next thing on the agenda for me, is promoting for that. And then doing everything I can to finish writing Curse of Blood and Sight. So that's what we're moving on to. It's been a good day. I am super thankful that my books came in time. The day was really, really good, even though like clearly it's rainy and dreary, and it's also Easter weekend. And I didn't think about that maybe taking people away from things, but it was really good. So I'm very pleased. I am happy. We're going to move on to the next thing. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I have a lot of things to do around here today. I have a ton of dishes I need to catch up on. At first I thought that I hadn't done them before, and that's why there were so many in the sink, but it's actually just because we've had people over and then we cooked a big meal last night, but still, it's crazy. I am also behind on my manifestation journal, so I'd kind of like to make it up by like giving myself a little bit of time this morning for reflection and just to get my head straight and everything for planning for this week. I got my email. I can reschedule my test for this next week, the NCE, the National Counselor's Exam. So I am going to reschedule that probably later today. I tried yesterday and it would not let me do it. And it took me a little bit to figure out that their website was down over the weekend for maintenance. So go figure. So I need to schedule that. I'm going to take that sometime this week. Hopefully that'll be a passing score, because then I can move on and start taking clients, which would be amazing. I also would like to catch up on the book I'm reading with my Kindle. It's Mind Magic by James Doty, MD. He's a neurologist, and he talks about manifestation and like neuroplasticity and how you can rewire your brain, which is very counselor of him, because that's something I do as an LPC. That's something I would do. So it's really interesting. I am loving it so far. There are practices at the end of each chapter. I just finished chapter 1. I was going to sit down with a notebook and do all of the practices together. So that may actually be part of what I do to make up for missing some manifestation days. So I have a lot on my plate. Today's also long run day. We are up to 3.5 miles. So today is a 3.5 mile run day. Yeah, it'll be good. I am excited. It's all gonna be good. It's gonna be a good day. We also have D&D tonight and my live stream. So if you have been missing them or you're interested, we do live streams every single Sunday night at 8:30 Central Standard Time. And we work on for you can work on whatever you want, but we do productivity sprints. So we will chat for a little bit, work for 25 minutes, and then chat again, and we'll do 3 rounds. And I am excited because I tend to get a lot of writing done on those days. So live streams tonight. Come join, turn on the bell notifications, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't ever miss out on that information. Tuesday is also Stuff Your Kindle Day. So if you want to get The Arena and Shade of the Shadowlands book 2 in my trilogy for free, you can when you go and follow, I think it's Romance Book Lovers. I don't know, I'll have to put it on the screen. But when you go to the webpage, you get a giant list of books that are all free and included in this Stuff My Kindle Day. So go and check it out. It is very cool. And yeah, you can get 2 of my books this time around. Last time I just did 1. So be on the lookout for that. Go check it out. I'll be posting all about that soon. I think that's where I'm going to leave the vlog for today, just so I can start getting uploaded and start on my morning. I am actually a little tired as well, so I may sit down, take a nap at some point today. I do have my coffee, so we'll see how long this sustains me this morning. But thanks for joining me. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out the links in the description box below for all of my social media accounts and where you can find all of my books. Thank you so much. Read books, be kind. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!